Hello one and all, this is Soulful Lordy, James Bullock, once again with another video game first impressions. This time around, Desperados 3 for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Desperados 3 is not a sequel per se to the Desperados franchise, but it is a prequel to the original game as you find out the origins of the game's long-running protagonist, John Cooper. Even though this game is set in the wild, wild west of the late 19th century, and you expect gunslingers and shootouts and or any of that crazy stuff you would expect to play when you experience a wild, wild west game setting, this is actually a real-time tactical type of game. This is a strategy game. This is a game that as you move throughout each level, you have to decide whether or not you want to invoke a violent path of rage or be smart, be tactical, and be stealthy. And more than likely, stealth is the best option when it comes to this game, because now as you play as John Cooper, you go throughout these maps and have to, of course, complete objectives that are ever changing, be it trying to take on a series of bandits or simply saving a bunch of hostages who have been train robbed. Now, the way you go about these things is really up to you. You can, as I said, use the showdown mode to start off a shootout. Unfortunately, one of the biggest systems when it comes to this game is the cooldown function of each item used. If you decide that you want to have a shootout with someone, you have to wait a few seconds before you can utilize the gun again, which could mean the difference between life and death because, as I said, there are a lot of enemies that are on the screen, and hearing gunfire will alert them and bring them to the source of the gunfire. This is made even more emphatic by the cone system, the visible cone system that each enemy has. While the player can only see one sight line at a time per enemy, there are enemies that can be able to see you from great distances, even sometimes off the screen. So when it comes to sight, you could be at a great disadvantage, especially if you try to start a shootout. And even at times when you try to be stealthy, this could be at your detriment, because if they can see you and you can't see them, you do not know how to react properly in time, and in turn, you will fail the mission. And even though you are focusing on John Cooper when it comes to playable characters, there are actually multiple playable characters with their own special abilities. Once again, they are also attached to that cooldown system, so you can't spam their special abilities. One of the biggest advantages about the game is the fact that there is a automatic and manual quick save function. When it comes to the manual, by hitting the touchpad on the PS4, you can quick save at any time during a playthrough. So that means you can be in the middle of a shootout that's gone wrong. If you quick save before that shootout begins, you can reload the save and start all over again. This game demands that you constantly quick save because a simple wrong move can be the end of a game. And if you have not quick saved, say 4 to 5 minutes earlier, then you will have to redo a lot of the mission, and that could be greatly different from the first time you completed it. Another cool feature when it comes to just finishing a mission in this game is the route that the game shows you. It shows you everything that you've done and even shows you the route of the enemies across the entire playthrough of that level. I thought that was such a cool feature and really incentivizes replay value because you want to do better, you want to do a faster time, you want to see if you could be more effective in the end. And that's even more complemented with the challenges that are attached, like trying to go throughout a level without saving or not killing everyone, because you can knock out people and just tie them up and hide them in the bushes instead of killing them. Beyond the trial and error nature of the game as a whole, really the only flaw that I have with it is the loading times. It's not the best optimized game when it comes to reloading or just loading in general. Overall, this isn't Red Dead Redemption. This isn't an action-adventure sandbox style game. This is a true real-time strategy game set in the Wild West that if you come in with the mindset of taking your time, planning your attack, and being ready to fail multiple times before you redo whatever you have to redo and try to do a better job the next time, you will thoroughly enjoy this game. But if you don't have the patience, I say find something else, because this is a game that is rooted in being patient. So there you have it. This has been Soulful Lordy, James Bullock, once again with another video game first impressions. Desperados 3 for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Now, if you don't mind, I have a guy with a bear trap who decides that he wants to chop off some legs. And if I time this properly, that enemy who just so happens to hear someone whistling will have no choice but to say, "Oh lordy."